Hi, my name is Matthew, and this is my submission for speech number 2. Electricity is the heart of modern life. It's what we need to work on our computers, to cook, and to open up Pokemon TCGP packs. Now, imagine all of that goes away, not because you couldn't pay the electric bill, but because you are reliant on a unsustainable and inefficient energy. This is the future America risks if things do not change for the better. Nuclear energy is a better method of supplying energy. It requires less space than renewable energy and produces less waste than fossil fuels. I will be the first to admit that I'm not an expert when it comes to energy. However, you do not need to be an expert when it comes to looking at the facts of the researchers and seeing that it all points to nuclear being better. So, in this speech, I will tell you how wasteful and unreliable conventional energy can be, what nuclear power does better than conventional energy, and why we should move forward with nuclear. All of this in mind, let's talk about the inefficiency of the current power systems. Most plants' operations are conditional, with time of year or lack of flexibility being problems for the power plant. Coal plants are the most affected by the lack of flexibility. They are overused and operating in manners that they were never meant to operate. This leads to less energy output overall and more plant decay. A news outlet for energy and utility, Utility Dive, notes that coal plants were not meant to operate cyclically and lack flexibility. Another problem is that renewable energy methods are reliant on nature, so they cannot operate and produce enough energy by themselves when conditions are less than ideal. Antonio Lopez, who was an energy specialist at the Plataforma Solar de Almería, writes that systems that rely on renewable power over 50% can become unstable due to the intermittency of sunlight and wind speed. Now you know the flaws with fossil fuels and renewable energy. Let's take a look at how nuclear energy compares against them. Nuclear energy is a good solution to lack of energy density and around-the-clock energy. Nuclear power is produced by splitting atoms, which releases a lot of heat. Here's a quote from the Office of Nuclear Energy. Nuclear energy has the highest capacity factor of any other energy source. This basically means nuclear power plants are producing maximum power 92% of the year. That same office then goes on to find that for every 1 gigawatt of nuclear energy is equal to 2 1 gigawatt fossil fuel plants. This brings us back to how power is created. Nuclear energy is the method to create power is much better than fossil fuels because they rely on molecular reactions between chemicals. Another reason nuclear is better because nuclear energy rarely has to reduce its power output compared to other plants that need annual maintenance and refuels. The U.S. Energy Information Administration reports that nuclear power reactors have the highest monthly average and annual capacity factors because they usually operate at on or near their rated electricity generating capacity throughout the year. At this point, you might be thinking, even though nuclear energy seems like the better option, what about nuclear waste? Renewable energy mixed with fossil fuels seems like a good solution to having less waste and the waste being less dangerous. However, this is not true. Fossil fuel plants produce much more waste per year compared to nuclear plants. This is pointed out by the World Nuclear Association, saying that a reactor supplying 1 million people would only produce 3 cubic meters of vitrified high-level waste per year. Compare that to a coal plant. A coal plant would produce approximately 300,000 tons of ash and 6 million tons of carbon dioxide every year. Not to mention the space renewable plants take up. A Nuclear Energy Institute analysis found that the average size of a nuclear power plant takes up 1.3 square miles. A solar farm would take up 75 times this, and a wind farm would take up to 360 times the size of a nuclear power plant, all to produce the same amount of electricity. As you can see, nuclear energy is the only real option due to its lack of waste and space consciousness. With all that being said, nuclear energy is the best way for America to power itself moving forward due to its superiority among the energy production methods. One way you can push the US to go nuclear is to join a pro-nuclear energy activist group, or if your local congressperson is in the House Energy and Commerce Committee, reach out to them and explain to them your concerns and why you think they should push for nuclear energy. Nuclear energy offers a clean, reliable, and efficient power that won't further the damage of climate change. And in the face of growing energy demands, the path forward is clear. Thank you.